Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
T-Pain came a few days ago, and he basically said that Tupac would have been murdered by some, not murdered in a sense, but murdered by some of these MCs today. Lyrically,
he would have got ate up.
Yeah,
right,
he would have got ate
like
up.
That.
Yeah, he got ate up. So you know, what do you feel about that? And T-Pain saying that?
Just silly, you know. Again, just a motherfucker saying the most ridiculous, you know, animated shit, hot take that they can say.
Right.
And, you know, so they can get some eyeballs. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm not, and like I said, when I said it's twofold, it's like, I'm not even too mad at it, because at the same time, it's like a compliment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's because that nigga was so fucking great that you still gotta, you know what I mean? Like, you still gotta use
you still gotta plug it. You gotta plug his name.
Right. And so it's just, yeah. So it's ridiculous, of course.
Right.
Anybody who, and I've heard that story over and over, that same sentiment that you know, Pac wasn't a true lyricist and shit. And you know, people who say that shit is motherfuckers who their first song, okay, or their first album from Tupac was All Eyes on Me. You understand what I'm saying? Type shit. Machiavelli. That's how they got introduced to Pac. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been listening to my brother since 6. You know what I'm saying? All his shit. From Tupacalypse Now, Thug Life, Strictly for My Niggas, Me Against the World. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And to me, how could you not call that a lyricist? You know what I'm saying? The wordplay that he's using, and the subject matter. That's what it's about. The subject matter that he's talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he talked about some shoot 'em up, bang bang shit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But the overall shit, man, was just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, you know, it's just real shit.
No, I think you have a great point, because there's a difference between being a lyricist and being a songwriter. Lyricism is what that is if you a battle MC, if you doing all of this. But a songwriter, when you talk about what kind of songs you have and what's actually paying the bills and your artistry being successful, right? You know, that's why Tupac is one of the most the best-selling artists of all time. You know, on to his death too. But like I said, even when he dropped Me Against the World in Prison, 2 million records, #1 record. Then comes out, drops All Eyes on Me, 5 million records, and within like 4 months. And so
the first double album, mind you,
absolutely.
Nobody ever did a double album before that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So he was a trendsetter with a lot of shit, man.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. And no, so now I want to take you, I want to bring you out, you know, because like I said, we deal with that 11 months thing. You know, we deal with the situation involving the West Coast. But before we do that, I want to go back to Atlanta real fast. And when Tupac, Edie had spoke on this, Edie from the Outlaws, when they were driving and they seen the young man being harassed by these guys at this particular time, unbeknownst to them that they were undercover officers or whatever, and Tupac handled his business and did what he did. So what do you think about that, as far as, like I said, being the revolutionary side of who he was?
You know, as a kid, of course. Okay, so that happened like in '93, right? Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm 8. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't fully understand what's going on, but I can read the newspapers and shit like that, and the news, and everybody was talking about it, how he shot at too. So I understood, you know what I'm saying, what he did.
Right.
And even though I didn't know all the intricate details like I do now as an adult.
Well, just speak from that's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you now to speak from what you know now. You know what I mean? And
I knew he did it
understand.
from a good place.
Right.
That's what I meant. Like I knew he did it, even though I didn't know. I just knew he did it from a good place. And
Right.
so, okay, even now, as I gotten older, you know what I'm saying? And I realize now, it's like I always said, man, that's one of the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my life. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Hands down, man. Okay, when you really break it down in its totality, right?
Right.
Like you said, Pac didn't even know that they were undercover off-duty cops. He didn't
Right.
know that they were off-duty cops.
Absolutely.
Right? So to me, that makes it even more just like powerful. Is that again, Pac is the star at this point. Okay,
Right.
he did Juice, he did Poetic Justice. He just did a movie with Janet fucking Jackson.
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so he's a star. Okay, here he is on his way from the story, from what I understand, he is on the way to a party or some shit, like some after party. He just rocked the show or something
Right.
like that.
Absolutely.
And he's on the way to a party and he sees two white boys. That's basically the situation. He sees two white boys harassing a brother. You know what I'm saying? And he went out of his way to intervene. You know what I'm saying? To stop that shit. He didn't know that they was cops. You know what I'm saying? That to me, that's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Because I know people gonna say, "Oh, if they were cops, he wouldn't have did it." Whatever. That doesn't matter.
Right.
The point is that he saw two white boys harassing a brother, and he stopped that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, that just speaks to who he was, man. Like you said, all that shit revolutionary, about the people,
Right.
against police brutality and all that bullshit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And like I said, as a kid, when I was 8, I didn't know everything, but I understood then that even though, yeah, he shot at some cops, I knew that he did it for a reason. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I knew. And then as I got older, of course, now I understand that he was right in what he did. Absolutely. And I just,
And when you
like
and
I
when
said,
you so when you
I
say
just
that he was when you say that
have to
when you say
respect.
that he was right, when you say that he was right, is that based on what we see now today?
Oh my God, of course. It's more relevant today than ever.
Right.
You know, the same shit that was going on back then when Pac was alive and the things that he was speaking on and rapping about and warning us about, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? All that shit is playing out right now. You
Absolutely.
know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, man. So that's what I'm saying. So when you got that understanding, you know what I'm saying, of who this man was
Right.
and what he was willing to put on the line, he didn't fucking have to do that. Again, he didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
he just saw the injustice. You feel me? And
Right.
he took it upon himself to intervene. And so that's why it's just fucking laughable, honestly, when you got these other cats out here who compare himself to him.
Right.
Because it's like none of these rappers, none of them would ever do no shit like that.
Right.
Fuck the cops. Take the cop shit out of the situation. Just see some shit like that. Like I said, the whole situation, you a star. You on your way to a party and get right. You know what I'm saying? But because you just so happen to see some injustice going down, you fucking, you know what I mean? You bust at them and you make, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like I said, like,
no,
like
I totally understand. That's why I asked that question. I totally understand where you're coming from, and a lot of stuff that like I said, that Tupac rapped about, like you say, is still relevant today. A lot of the messages in his music you can still learn from today. Like you said, they're teaching courses in universities on who he was, his social, his music, and all of those things. So I think that's very important.
His poetry.
Yeah, his poetry. That's
You know
the reason why.
saying?
Yeah, that's the reason why I asked that question. But like I said, and we're gonna check this out. So now, Will Garland Jr. in the house, in the building, hip hop, Monica name, 5 Faces. Look out for him. It's your boy DELRAY. Yeah, straight gang.